Hey guys, it's Val Moxley, and today I decided to make a sit down video, and I decided to talk about my childhood, and mainly the things that I believed as a child that I don't understand how children can believe at the same time. They really have no logical mindset. So I think that the most outrageous thing that I believe was if you moved, you would have to pick it up, you and your family, and then you have to find like an empty space and plop your house around there. And the reason why this theory came about was because we were moving from my apartment into a house, and I was really worried because I didn't know how we were gonna pick up our apartment when it was like connected. You know what I mean? The next thing I believed was that if you swallowed your air, that you would blow up. Because the reason why this theory came about was because when I was younger, my aunt, she lived on this one street, and across from her house, like, my cousin, she made a friend, and luckily whenever I went over there and she was there, we would go over there and we all became friends. Fun fact, they were vegetarian and had the best vegetarian hot dogs, and I haven't had some since then, and I hope I have some again. But we were there, right? And I've learned how to burp like on command, like, you know? And apparently they already knew how, but since like you had to swallow, they told me since you were swallowing like air, that it would go in your stomach and then it would like blow up. And I was like, oh my god. I was really about to explode. But I kept doing it, so I obviously didn't care that much. So another thing I believed as a kid was that your parents got to choose your birthday. And I always thought that because I didn't know, like, you know, I knew that babies would like come out, but I thought that your parents would choose your birthday. And I was really confused because I was like, why did my parents choose mine and my brother's birthdays to be like right next to each other? Like, because mine was March 1st and his was March 2nd. And I was like, why would they do that? Another thing I believed was that 24/7 stores, like, no, 24/7 stores, I thought that the workers never went home. And so I remember I think it was outside of CVS, but I was outside of CVS and I saw 24/7. And at that time, I had just learned what 24/7 meant. Like, you know, like 24/7, like every day. You know what I mean? And so I was like, man, like, they don't. And I was like really thinking, I was like, man, the workers never get to sleep. Like, and I was like trying to picture, like, maybe they went home, and I was like, wait, no, it says 24/7, so they're busy like all times of the day. And I was like, what are they doing on Christmas? Like, why do they ever see their families? And then it finally dawned upon me that they have different workers at different times, so not everyone has to be there at like literally 24/7. So that was a big, like, another thing I believe was that flashback scenes, they were filmed at like the actual like where the flashback takes place. Like, let's say you're watching like a movie in like 2005, and then it gave a flashback of like 10 years before. I thought that like 10 years before, when like the actors were kids, they purposely filmed that, and they're like, all right, we're gonna use this in like another 10 years for our movie. Because I was like, man, people like wait a long time to finish like one movie. Turns out that they hire children actors, and those children actors tend to have a really fucked up life afterwards. So another thing I believed was that lice never slept. And honestly, I don't know if that's true or not, and I really don't care enough to research. But I remember when I was smaller, I was trying to sleep. I don't know if this was like a figment of my imagination, because a lot of that stuff happens, but it still got me thinking. And it was like, I was trying to sleep in my sister's like bed, and she didn't want me to sleep. And she was like, you know, like, get out. And she was like, you know, I have lice, like, don't sleep with me. And I was like, well, it's like nighttime, don't the lights fall asleep, and she's like, no, they never fall asleep. And I was like, oh my god. So I wasn't safe. Like, you know, you don't go to sleep. Yeah. Another thing I believed was that, okay, so you know that one movie, like, of the Hannah Montana, the movie, you know, where she like reveals herself and everything? And I found out that the reason why they played it in like real movie theaters is because if they didn't, then it would interfere with the actual Hannah Montana, the show, because, you know, she revealed herself. Excuse me. Okay, so I believe, since I didn't know that before, so excuse me, so when people didn't know, like in the show, I thought it was just because of where she was at, there was no like sort of like electronics and stuff like that, and so no one saw that except for the people in that like area, and the people in that area all agreed to never speak of it. So that's why, that was my explanation to why everyone that wasn't in the Hannah Montana the movie in that one scene still believed that, you know, Hannah Montana was Hannah Montana and not Miley Stewart, you know? Okay, this next one is more like a I wished it was true than of a like I thought it was true. So you know that one episode of SpongeBob when he forgets how to tie his shoes and he's like walking around with his untied shoes, and then like he had to fall asleep with them on? Well, he fell asleep with them on, and when he woke up he was like, oh my, like, let me check if my shoes are tied. And so ever since that episode, when I was younger, I had really hairy legs and stuff like that because I decided to shave when I was like 4 or 5 or something like that. And so it made my legs like extra hairy. And like I was really insecure of it because people would call me a werewolf, werewolf girl, something. You know what I mean? And every time like I would lift up my blankets and I would hope that all the leg hair was like gone. Funny enough, leg hair never went away, but I did just shave, so you can look at that. Oh, not that. Okay, this next one, I'm pretty sure that everyone believed as a kid, but it was that Santa Claus was real. And I remember one time, we never really got stockings, and I don't know if it was because we couldn't like, if we didn't like believe in that part of Christmas, or just because we were like poor and we couldn't afford it. And so I grabbed one of my socks, and let me mind you, like they were pretty fucking tiny because I lived in my apartments at the time, and I only lived up there until like 1st grade, so you can imagine how young I was at the time and how tiny my socks were, even though I was a freaking giant. So I decided to write my wish list, obviously, and I put it in like my little sock thing, and I was like, oh my god, like Santa Claus is gonna come, you know? And so one day, like, and then I woke up and I checked the sock and it was empty, and I was like, oh my god, Santa Claus came, he got my wish list, he's gonna see me, like, you know, he gonna get me all this good stuff. And yeah, I really thought that Santa Claus was able to come before like Christmas. Another thing I believe was that Lemonade Mouth, you know, that one Disney original movie, not where like, obviously, look, if you don't look it up, I thought that they were a real band. So I don't know if you guys remember this, but they would like do specials on Disney where you would get to go on the website and you can type in like a message, and then when they are doing like a rerun of the movie, they would like play it at the bottom. And so you would see like a bunch of people comments like, oh my god, like I love Lemonade Mouth and stuff like that. So since I thought that, you know, the Lemonade Mouth was real, I was like, and so I typed in like, oh my god, I love you guys, like I hope that I could see you in concert, like here. And then I was like dropping hints on how many tickets I would need to go see that concert. And long story short, they weren't a real band, and I never got to see them in concert. Thumbnail. Okay, but next thing I believed, this was kind of funny. Okay, so I wanted to become like, no, it's not that I wanted to become, I wanted to meet like everyone I love that was on like Disney Channel and stuff like that, and like iCarly. And so I thought that they all lived in Hollywood. Like, that's where they lived. Every single one of everyone I loved, they just lived in Hollywood. And so it's like, I want to mail them like a letter, like, you know. So I wrote them a letter about how much I love them and how much, like, you know, I want to go see them and stuff like that. And I was actually inviting them to my birthday party. Because I was like, maybe they'll come. Long story short, I put the letter in an envelope, and I didn't know how to mail it. I didn't know if I were supposed to put it in like the mailbox, then put the thing up, and I did that. But then I got worried, and so then I put it in like the dirt in front of our house. And yeah, I don't know what happened to the letter. I don't know what I did with it, but let's just say that only the kids from school that I invited came. So okay guys, so that was the end of that video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope some of these things that other people believe too, and not just me, because I feel really stupid. But yeah, just comment down below stuff you believed as a kid, or things that you would want to see me talk about in the future. All my social medias are listed down below: Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. And like and subscribe if you want. And that's it. So I'll see you guys later.